Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
6:37, Wednesday, January 14th, on the select board for order. Standing items, first one is consider additions or adjustments. I have two. One is scheduling our next regular meeting, on the town holiday, and the other is a Holmes metal signature approval for a cost that we already approved. Any others?
I've got something that I think is good.
Okay, public comment and announcements, is there any?
Oh.
Let's see if it's faces. I don't see my face.
Oh, Green Mountain. Oh, just.
There we go.
Thank you. Well, further, select board updates and or issues or concerns, are there any from the board?
Yes, I'd like to talk about the historical society this evening.
Okay. Go.
Okay. Just wait, in case somebody else had any other concerns. Or something. First thing out the gate is that we authorized $5,000 a while back to insulate a wall, as everybody recalls. Well, fortunately, and you should have the bill, John, or the estimate for one of the jobs. One of them came in way under what we thought it was going to be. And so the electricians, when they did the job recently, intimated that they didn't think that the building had any insulation whatsoever in it. So we've already been authorized 5,000. I would just say that we use whatever was left over for that wall and continue on down the side of the building with it until we run out. I don't want to mention any prices right now because, you know, it's almost like a premature, you know, deal. Might interfere with getting more work done. But it was really reasonable.
So we get actual quotes or estimates? Or
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and
that was a needed order question.
it was really low for what they're
Were
going to do.
they quotes to do the work? Or
Yes.
estimates?
Yeah, they're quotes to the work. So we do have a modified quote, and the town administrator has it for that particular wall. And it's real reasonable. So if they're gonna be that reasonable for that section, there's no reason they wouldn't be reasonable for the rest. So how do we wanna go about this? So do we wanna just figure out a section for them to do and get a price from them to do it and have them to do it all at the same time? Or just because we've been authorized 5,000 to do it, just see how much we can get done with the $5,000. So it's up to the board how they want to go about it.
Them insulating it, does that require like taking down all the drywall and putting?
No, it's going to be cellulose blowed in from the outside of the building.
Oh.
So what they do is they go up to the top, take clapboards off the top, off the bottom, they drill holes, blast it in, they leave in the holes in the bottom and check it to make sure that it all goes down and it all gets around, and so that's how they do it.
Okay.
So it's internally evasive. It is questionable sometimes, you know, how good cellulose is, but it is a good stopgap for insulating the building.
Yeah. Well, I'm in favor of using the $5,000 to insulate as much as we can, but I think maybe we should ask them for a full quote of how much it would cost to insulate the whole building, and then from there determine like what walls would be most beneficial if it's over 5,000, and go from there.
Sounds fine to me. And that leads into another portion of my discussion this evening.
Yeah, I mean, not knowing the numbers, I don't know if 5,000 is going to be anywhere near enough to the whole building, but.
No, it's not. It's certainly not. but we can get quite a lot done if you just figure out what they're charging for this section versus how much more we can get. So, now, do you want to have a vote on this or just consensus?
Has to be consensus, we didn't really add it as an action item. But the consensus of the board is to get the contractor that provided the quote out there, make a recommendation, provide a formal quote that we could approve. And
Well, we authorized 5,000 to fix that wall the way it was, you know, and I hate the thought of going back and forth, you know, when they've already been authorized $5,000 to do it, right? You're just adding another layer here and it just pulls up the works getting it done. Do we just want to go ahead and get that done and then go further? And it's like I told the board today, I says, when the crew is set up there to do the job, that's the biggest thing, getting the job ready most of the time, that is to do the job. So if they're there, we might as well get them to do it as much as we can,
Yeah.
for the 5,000.
Okay.
I'm not advocating clawing back any money from the Historical Society. We authorized 5,000. The whole building probably does need to be insulated. We are protecting the town's investment.
Okay. What's next?
The next deal is that over the years, the board for the Historical Society, I'm going to digress, case in point, the hot water heater is on the fritz at the Historical Society. In the past, the Historical Society has gone out and tried to find people, and get bids and everything else. Historical Society, I believe, is the only entity within the town that is required to do that for all other public buildings. Now, nobody else does that. I think that when the Historical Society has a need, the select board ought to take the ball and run with it. The select board needs to get the bids on it. They need to make sure the work is done. And me being the select board's liaison with the Historical Society, I've done the legwork already on the hot water heater and trying to get the most bang for the buck. Now, when I am no longer on the select board, I would not mind being appointed by the board to be the liaison, because I believe Duncan Hastings at one time was like the mouth, the eyes and ears of the select board, even though he was not on the select board at the time. So I would not mind being on the select board, on the board for the Historical Society, and be the lead on anything that needs to be done on the building. So if something comes up that needs to be done, the board will go through me, and I will get with the town administrator and then get the bids out and get these things done in a timely manner. And I don't mind volunteering my time as a citizen, working with the Historical Society on their board as a liaison between the select board and them.
Okay. I don't agree with your statement.
Which one? Which part of it?
That the Historic Society is the only committee that the select board asks
Which
to help form RFPs for a building. I mean,
who else does it?
you've been sitting right beside me when we've approved RFPs that the library prepared all by themselves.
Right,
That's not a town
but
building.
that's the only other town building.
Okay, so we have one committee that's okay with doing it, and you think it's unfair that we ask the
I think
Society.
any town building should be taken care of by the select board.
So you would like the library to stop doing the legwork that they do as well.
I think they could, you know, I don't know what they think about it, but I know that the Historical Society doesn't mind it. Doesn't mind the select board taking care of their own building. It's the building, it belongs to the town. It's our responsibility to take care of it. And we shouldn't ask any other committee to take care of town property either.
So with respect to the library, we're asking them to do the legwork and then they bring it back to us to make a decision. Is that correct?
Well, I'll do the legwork.
I'm just trying
Yeah.
to, for the library, we're asking them to do legwork, find information, and then bring it back to us for decision as to.
Well, I'm just talking about like historically, you know, was it 2 years ago? 4 years ago, the library, oddly enough, recommended insulation in that building. I believe we asked them to work on getting quotes from the contractor, work with the town administrator on the RFP, and the library, to my knowledge, they put a bit of legwork on that, and they even shifted money. It came back more expensive than the town could afford. Look at the minutes go on.
Well, it's a better way too, for towns to keep track of things. At least they keep track of their own buildings that way, better. Belongs to the town, you know, we take care of it. I guess you could ask them if they wanted to do it or not. But I think we gotta have a policy that we take care of all town buildings. We could do a liaison, just like me, willing to do with them. Bring it, do the legwork, and bring it to the board.
Maybe I'm confused on the ask.
I don't know what the ask is.
What is the ask?
Well, the initial ask is to be, for the town to take care of their buildings.
Mhm.
And I don't mind, in my position, you could have somebody else on their committee be the liaison to the select board or something. But I don't mind doing all the legwork and then bringing it to the town administrator. You know, case in point, the water heater is on the fritz, and so they do have a water heater that goes off the furnace. And I've got a quote for $2,400 to get it done. But I've also found somebody who's got a second hand one that is identical to the one that's in there that's willing to give it to us for free. Just with installation fee. And I might be able to squeeze a donation out of it for him to put that in for nothing.
That'd be great.
So I think Mike's got a point. We certainly should be responsible for town buildings. We're out of select where there are buildings. I don't necessarily agree that we need to change the way we govern every building. If the library board is going to do library for us, that's great. It's still gonna come back here for decision making. Stuff. You want to do it for the library or for the historical society, that's great. Whether you or somebody else. I think having you do it for the historical society is great. I don't think that means we need to appoint somebody specific for the library. I think that's-
Only if you want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peter's our library liaison.
Yeah, that doesn't mean it's all legwork, because so that's the library board we do it. You guys can sort it out.
Yeah.
Still unclear on the ask, but are we good?
So installation, we're gonna go ahead with the 5,000. Find out how much we can get done.
And I'll work with John on it.
And you're gonna get 2 quotes for that.
Yes, we can, but.
You're a stickler.
We're stickler for close, but, you know, if I said it once, I said it a half a dozen times in today's meeting. They said, I can't believe we're gonna get that amount worked out for that amount of money. And the other guy, number one, is only one of them gave us a bid. As I recall, we only got back with one, and that was the guy that was real reasonable.
Oh, sorry, did you say that,
We tried to get 2 quotes, but we only got one back
oh, for you already
for the
got one.
insulation.
Okay, then I would just assume that it'll be the case again.
Same guy, really.
Yeah.
We do have a procurement policy.
That's fine. We can try to go out and get a quote for the rest of it. I don't give a rat's rear end, to tell you the truth. If that's what you want, I'll do it.
Well, we should hear the policy. just because we
Yeah,
have-
I'll follow the policy.
And if we don't get moving on. As far as the bid being so much lower than expected, we're not in there, the opposite argument. We're making sure we're all talking the same language.
Oh, yeah. We put it out and we wanted it insulated. That's what the guy came back with.
Just making sure.
Yes, Lois.
Cellulose insulation.
I just want to clarify that there's a second person who has looked at the job as a different kind of insulation, and hopefully will be sending it, that's come to visit, and we'll be sending you a bid soon.
Wonderful.
Yeah, right, okay, good.
We'd be in here. Are you good? We're good? Other issues, concerns? Can we celebrate something? It's warm today. All right, we're gonna move on.
Thanks, Paul.
Right into the proposed municipal budget. So is the board okay with me making adjustments to the SharePoint one, so go down through? I get paper.
Yes.
I just don't wanna have to force somebody. We're gonna go top to bottom, probably quickly past lines if the board has nothing. Current taxes is the formula. We did bump up interest and penalties on taxes for Rosemary, correct? Fines, licenses and fees, I believe we've already reviewed that section with Rosemary.
What are other fees? The first, line 12,
Rosemary?
I think that some of that's photocopies. Anything that doesn't go into one of the other categories.
Select board fees.
and line 19, revenue from law enforcement. What exactly is that? And can you get more of it?
I don't know if you remember the conversation from almost exactly a year ago. Was Mark on the board a year ago? Yeah. So I made the same, right? It's my understanding we used to receive roughly 4 times more than we do now.
Quite a bit more.
That's our revenue from the tickets, right?
Speeding tickets.
And I argued that they should communicate to the Vermont County Sheriff's Department, we would like that to increase.
I haven't got any tickets from them for, this is all state police.
That's just state police tickets. So that's even more fun.
Yeah, we need to get on that.
Just advocating for last year's board, they did not want to pressure the Vermont County Sheriff's Department to write tickets because it could disadvantage people of lower socioeconomic status. I believe my argument at the time was it disadvantages people that break the law. But that did not hold up. So I don't, it's a good question. Does the board want to bump it up or communicate with Town Clerk?
I think we should communicate with that.
So is there a percentage? How does it work? I don't know.
Both I know, the check shows up.
We get a small check every month, a larger check once a year.
From the state police tickets, yes. We haven't seen anything more, I'm sure.
Not for having tickets.
Well, that's kind of ridiculous.
They won't write parking tickets, because that's a longer conversation.
You know, why we go to the sheriff's department.
Do we leave our budgeted revenue and communicate for future years? The board would like
Yes.
some laws and for.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yes.
Starting with a zinger right off the bat, Peter. State and federal money. I believe we covered that pretty good. Clark's drop and pilot payment, we've already kind of talked about on and off. The added line on line 35, which is the reimbursement to the town from FEMA buyout grant program. We do need to talk about that and understand. I know it's late, but it's in your packet, there's this sheet. And this sheet represents that the properties for buyout that we expect to own by April 1st. Maybe there'll be another one,
Maybe 3 others.
maybe 3 more. This has 2 of them.
The two that
Yes.
are, it could be one.
So the town currently owns 6, and there's 2 that are expected to close in January. Maybe another one before April 1st, but they would have reduced the total grand list of 2023 by 9,556. And the next column is the 2025 appraised values, and you can see the de-escalation of value, depreciation of value. So we'll get to this number down below, but that will affect probably our projected grand list that we should use for going in front of the taxpayers. If this is all perfectly accurate, if the state funded it, if I believe Rosemary, are they paying on the 23 values?
They did all, federal paid them the 23 dollars.
So in a perfect world, if everything's funded and everything happens, may receive $9,000 from the state for this line. I plugged in the lower line in red.
And then to the fourth column, behind the lost revenue, 2025 taxes.
Well,
The third and fourth column.
this should be 25.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, this,
Okay,
sorry. So if we wanted to be conservative, which would probably be smart to be, I think expecting 80% of that to be funded by the state would be good. Is the board okay with plugging $7,221 in for revenue in this line?
Is that legislation that's passed and been signed?
Yes,
But is it in the budget?
they put $1 million budget. But I don't know if that was for 10 years or 4 years.
Touche. If we're conservative this year, next year's board can say, all right, we know the system is kind of slightly unknown.
Y'all should be doing that next year. That's the question on that.
So, or is it the 7220?
That would be in the revenue line number 35. The long blue line.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a code for it.
So we put 7221.
7221. Sounds like we're all in agreement. We bumped up revenue. We're going an awesome way. Next up, we have other revenues section. The board members have. Would like to talk to around this section. One thing. I'm on email, it's not in here, so shop. Fun, it's not.
No.
We've talked about line 41 interest on investments. But you can not really kind of talk about that, but I don't have high interest accounts or CDs and so forth. So that's something we're going to look at going forward.
right.
I think we can change the number at this point, but look to change it.
Yeah,
Well, if 2025 actual was almost 20,000. And this year's estimated at 15.
Interest on investments.
Could we
Yeah.
add 1,000?
Where did the 12 come from?
Well, the proposal is 12.
Yeah, we make it 13.
Out of thin air. Do you think we can get to $12,000 in interest on investments?
Well, 25 actuals is 19.
We have 2 years in a row.
Right,
No, we haven't. We need to look at
yeah.
budget status
Yeah,
report
5,024, so
to,
it's all over that.
Mhm.
to date,
That figure is probably not correct.
to date, at 3846.
So did we do something this year to increase it this much?
Well, it's gonna decrease from June. We've got to pay out for the library stuff, then get reimbursed. We paid out for Holmes Meadow project, and Lumber Lane project. and
The easement project,
the C project, so we got a lot of money that's due us.
but it's not earning interest.
Right.
We have to pay.
Oh, okay. Mhm.
Let's do the 12.
Leave it at 12 for now. Next line as we're going down through, that's not formula related, would be 49. I have some questions for the board there. This is money in, money out account, but it's money in from our building reserve fund. I had a couple of thoughts. I don't know what the board thought. I believe our current balance is 188,000 on that account.
Mhm.
One thought I had, it's literally money in, money out, so if we don't spend it, I assume we wouldn't bring it in. But we did add a sum of money for capital expense for Low Lecture Hall. We bumped that. Right now, there's $20,000 in there for the whole house roof. We bumped that to 30 and cover Low Lecture Hall.
I don't think that we need to do the roof or this one, necessary. I think we can probably hold off on that for you.
Why?
Well, number one, it doesn't look that bad, and number two, it's not actually leaking. The only leak was coming from that area, which is not insulated. To tell you the truth, I don't think that the roof is a major concern right now. So if we didn't have to put $20,000 in for the roof. So
Ever been to the tower out here?
I don't know where that's happening.
that's the village's responsibility.
That is in their court. I don't know where the village is at with that, but if we were gonna do it, even if it wasn't budgeted, the board could authorize the expense out of the fund, and it would really be money in, money out. This really is a zero line. As
I
long
think
as
we
we're
should
spending
bring
it
a couple
out.
thousand in. We don't spend it, it's still there. We're gonna bring it from our reserve fund. So that,
Or if we don't do the roof, we drop 20,000 in expense, we drop to 10,000 in revenue. And the revenue of 10,000 is planned at low.
Yeah.
Count off.
Yeah. I like that.
Is that making sense to everybody?
Makes sense to me.
No,
yeah, it's effectively the same thing.
You say keep
Not
it at
quite.
20, but 10 will go to, road and 10 will go to, open house. What is it?
no, we spend nothing at the open house.
Oh,
We just keep 10 and spend 10.
Yeah.
Below,
then
top,
10 on what?
on low.
We sat here a couple meetings ago and talked about how we needed to do the roof from the open house.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
Well, that was a suggestion from the board to get the roof done. So,
Well, was there other reasons to do the roof?
The reasons that the board felt that the roof should be done was, we had had historic preservation, do a review of the building when we bought it.
Mhm.
And then, a year or so ago, they came in and went over it again. And the roof was one of their number one recommendations. It's in the report that we got back.
Okay,
And so using that, you know, that's how we have, we don't know a lot about roofs,
right.
but that was why it was our priority.
Mhm.
One of the things that maybe Mike said today is there's new paints and things like that that can help with the roof, and maybe an alternative could be available.
Mhm.
So it would be nice to have some funds available if in fact if that's something we can come up with.
Okay,
But we're just trying to follow the recommendations that you and the Historical Society paid for.
right, okay.
But I sat in the parking lot, just wanted to look at the roof, and I didn't think it would look something that bad. I mean, it's a metal roof, it's not like it's a asphalt shingle roof, it's all peeled up and falling off, and everything else. As I said earlier, the only leak was where the area and the wall is uninsulated. It's not like the whole roof is. So,
So there is some leaks?
excuse me.
If there are some leaks?
The leak came from the wall that's not insulated.
Yeah.
What's happening is they figured the heat is going up through and then getting and then building up on the roof and causing a leak. In fact, when it's insulated, then you don't have that to worry about.
Do we have access to the attic? I mean, would you know if the roof is leaking spots?
Well, I guess we would if somebody would have to check. It's not something we do on a regular basis, but we have access to the attic. With cobwebs and all, it's quite interesting.
But the point is that in an old building like that, if you have a plastic, you would notice a leak very quickly in the ceilings, in bedrooms or anything like that. And to my knowledge, there's no leaks upstairs.
I think we should budget it just in case, because what's the harm?
Well, the harm is the bottom line.
I know, but
Well, no, for
Right now, the bottom line is 0 for that project.
Right. But it's gonna add, to the overall budget.
if something happens, like it's good to have it just in case, since it was a recommendation.
And if the project didn't happen on the expense side, the revenue would not come in, correct? This is our scientific guess here.
But $20,000 would make a percent increase in taxes.
No, because we're bringing,
Okay.
here, we're bringing it in from cash reserves, or reserve fund, planning on spending it down below.
Alright.
And if the project didn't happen, it would come
Okay,
from cash reserves, I believe.
all right. In that case,
The question was, what can we afford holistically? Right now, we'll see when we get down to expense. The town hall, we are planning on spending $10,000 for capital improvement. That is not being brought in right now. The question I had was, do we bump this up to 30,000? To bring in an additional 10. This couples with, there's a MERP grant that we're getting for the town garage. And, I talked with Jason for a little bit down there, and he said it would probably be good for the town in the long run. If we were to spend some money while the contractors were there, going that extra mile, replacing the boiler. I don't know the exact, I can't remember the exact areas that the MERP grant was touching. That boiler is old. A lot could be done. All that to say, this is planning for a project. So even if we didn't, we're trying to do the best we can for the boulders. If we didn't plan on that project and the boiler went kaput, the future board could bring money in. The building reserve fund to pay for that, correct, Rosemary? You're tied, the board is tied to a amount to be raised by taxes. You could spend 20 times that if you could bring it into grants or cash reserves. Operate it down. For now, it sounds like we can bump this to 30
Yeah,
for low, and we will have to consider timing for the MERV grant.
why did you tell me the other day if we had the 20,000, that would be a percent increase in taxes?
If you had $24,300 or whatever in expense, it will.
So we're going some creative looking in that picture.
I don't know if it's creative, we're bringing in, or money from a reserve fund to spend. Perfect example, we have, something that can spend more money on equipment than we in budget spend. So we bring it in from the reserve fund. Rosemary's not shaking her head no, it's fine. I'm just gonna hold my head down. Wow.
Line 53, is that rental of the apartment?
Line 53 is rental of the apartment.
When we get to 53, we go to 50.
Yes,
What is that?
Oh,
50 is labeled historical society.
There's no money budgeted right now, it's only what that line.
I've got some old line.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything in that since 2023.
Okay, I might start here.
That is rental for the apartment. We talked about this at a previous meeting to set the rent at $800 a month. I think the lease needs to be looked at. Yada, 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 but the $9,600 is the year's $800 a month times 12 months.
And general comment on, it's, you know, a lot of categories here, but it applies to line 54 also. That matches up with line 341.
Yes, that is the town paying itself money.
They're named two different things. It seems to get to me. Seems like at some point it'd be worth the effort to go through it and just match up the names so the revenue expense is the same thing. You're doing it the same way. Yeah, I don't think we far enough, it does say in lieu of, but just a general comment.
Mhm.
Fair enough. We could zero that line out, we zero the expense line out, that'll make a difference.
No, I'm not arguing money, I'm just imagining back and forth.
Yeah. We have anything else coming on down through the list from the board? They have a list of
Remind me, line 53.
that is money coming in to the town from the town's reserve fund.
63.
Yeah, that's revenue from the paving reserve fund. I
What's the
do,
balance of it? Do we know?
it's at the bottom. It's a healthy one? Ish? Huh? $238,000. That was what, June 30th? Snapshot in time, right? Probably our estimated final needs to be bumped up for that, but if we do the project for paving before the next fiscal year, we don't need to worry about bringing money in 27.
Okay, that's why.
That's assuming we don't have any new projects in 27.
It's a pretty good assumption. Possible.
No projects in 27.
We don't have enough asphalt and money to do asphalt projects every year. I've been on board a crazy long time. Typically, we try to save money up 1 year, spend it the next, or spend it the third. This year we'll actually kind of be on our third summer. So it's a pretty good chance that we won't.
Maybe something we should be sitting in a high interest fund.
Probably.
Absolutely.
They're in high interest savings accounts. I am on
Just a
balance.
high interest savings account.
There you
That
go.
was for you, John. That's no,
What's that?
There you go.
I got that.
Are they?
I would pay reserve fund.
Are they already
$238,000.
high balance savings accounts? Could they be? I don't know on that. But the board would like interest if you. As we move down. The next. Section, yes, I'm sorry. It's library revenue. I believe my question was possibly tied to donations. I'm wondering if we could get a conversation in the library and see if they could.
Well, they
It
just
seems
created-
like donations would fit here.
They're
just-
working on that. I've heard from them. And they created a GoFundMe today, actually.
I was talking about for the town budget, honey, for the project.
Oh, okay.
Do you think we could hopefully work towards $500 a year or something? Then school.
They also have, a new website, and, the website has a donation portal area. Mhm.
Maybe that will drive.
Go donate.
I don't think we should budget for that, though, given that they're trying to raise money for construction. Right?
Yeah.
And raising money for operations at the same time.
Maybe not this year, but that'd be a great push. for
Yeah, no, I
future.
don't disagree with
And
that at
I
all.
also heard they're trying to work on an annual report to send out to get bigger donations, just for general donations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll help quite a bit. There are a lot of other things on the revenue side, I think.
We're, are we moving on past the library?
You got anything for library revenue? Rec revenue?
So we've talked about whether there might be we might be able to do a modest increase in fees.
Double.
Talking about right now.
We,
We talked about it.
I have had interest in it, but I don't know if the full board does, and I haven't talked with it.
When was the last time fees were increased?
Can you remember, Rose?
At least 10. So, I don't want to create a hardship for anybody with kids, but that's why I said a modest increase.
Yeah.
Seems like,
Yeah.
50%.
I was thinking somewhere like, 10%.
Well, I think we should invite Isabel to a meeting to talk to her about it.
We have to have this signed by the 25th.
We can make a guess now, but I just mean like logistically, like how much it would be.
10% would be a showstopper,
Would be a what?
would not be a showstopper.
No, it wouldn't be.
Does anybody know what the fees are?
Depending on the program,
Pardon me?
depending on the program,
Okay, soccer.
it's like 25.
Jack is next to 250.
Depending on how many kids you have, it goes lower for the next.
The little thing that
Even if you had it cost 10 years, far more than 10%.
for sure. Yeah, we can invite her. Do you think you could make a note, John, to sit down with Isabel? And I think the general consensus is, can we push up fees a little bit? 10%.
What's that?
Or if she
If we,
comes up with more, we could plug it in there.
the soccer is $20, or you said 25?
I think it's 25.
What if we made it 35, what's the percentage of that?
Woo!
That's an
Easy math.
increase.
35? That's, I don't
I
think
mean, that's
that's
far more
bad.
than 10%.
Well, yeah,
That's like 30.
30%.
40.
Okay, 30% increase.
Yeah, $10 is 40%.
40. I don't think 35 is crazy.
I don't think it is either for 8 weeks for a program.
Yeah.
How are we?
So moving on, discuss we will 10 to 20%.
Said 40.
I know you did.
Probably they need to be looked at because a $10 increase. As Adrian said, it's not exorbitant in soccer, but maybe it's already accurate in basketball.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are. That perfect example you gave made sense.
Mhm.
Okay,
So are we changing anything there?
I don't think we are. I think John's gonna talk with Isabel and we can invite her to next week's meeting. She'd like to come.
Well, would she even have to come? If John talked to her and she said that that's okay, then plug that into the budget without even having a big to-do over it.
Sure. If she wants to come and talk to us direct, don't want to discourage it, but
If
if
she-
not,
If she can work it over with
Yep.
Tom, just go ahead.
deal. Moving down, skate park revenue, probably not much to talk about there. They're bringing along fundraising, good job. Continue moving down. I had the question about line 110, which is donations and general operations and historical society. And being our liaisons, maybe we could ask why that has dropped so much since 2024.
You're talking about 110?
Yeah, 110, donations and
Donations.
general operations.
2026 finals, $1,500.
Yeah,
No,
the
that's
2024 actual was $2,800. So over 2 years, we cut almost in half.
In that case.
Are you talking about 110?
Yes,
Oh,
That was just a good year.
yeah, we were bringing in money.
It's
25.
for that too.
Yeah.
So it was
Really good.
I would couple that question, me personally, if the historic society would like help with donations.
Can you answer that at all?
Well, of course, we get income that's under choosing our life, but I think when we do things like raffles, that's what's under the donation.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure, because I'm not the treasurer, but.
Yeah, that makes
but
sense.
I'm thinking, and we didn't have a big raffle this year. Whereas other years, you know, we've had pretty substantial ones.
Yeah,
Like Eric Tobin painting and that kind of,
that's true.
I think that might be.
Raffle minimum.
It would be in the negative. Negative, but it is.
He sells
Yeah, you-
more raffle tickets than anybody.
Well, we did have a good raffle this past year.
Like
Number
this-
one, we only had two Tuesday night lives, and that's where we have the captive audience, so we do it 8 times during the year. So, I mean, if we can get back to 8 times a year, we will have a big raffle and sell a lot of tickets, and then increase that profit.
Yeah.
We had $500. We had $500 to the 1,500.
How much usually comes in the cookie jar?
Well, the cookie jar doesn't get an awful lot.
Yeah,
That's the donation jar when people have stopped in. You know, some folks may leave $5 or $10, but a lot of people don't leave anything. So that's not huge. But every little bit helps.
yeah,
Makes a big difference.
I think we can increase it to 2,000.
I think by the time this rolls around, there's gonna be a big raffle. So this should be covered.
Well, this is, July of 26th to June of 27th. Is that a big raffle plan for that?
Yeah.
period?
Well, there'll be something,
Yeah, but something,
yeah. I don't see what you just can't leave it in that way. It's 1,500. I wouldn't increase it. I'd leave it at 1,500.
I would go to 2,000.
Because we don't know what we're gonna do for a raffle, I mean, if we had something that would really draw, a big draw, then we would sell our tickets. Like a COVID, we would bring a ton of money in.
Who's Tobin?
Eric told me to do the plane air hours.
He donated one a few years ago. You know, you hate to go back to the trial too many times.
So leave it.
We could look up something, a decent thing, it wasn't.
Let's leave it at 15 and challenge the Historic Society to try to get it up. Ask, challenge that. The other line I had questions about was membership. Right now, they're expected at $1,500 in revenue, but it's been over that. Since 2023, probably not gonna make a huge difference. We looked at more by next year's work. Deal?
some of the fluctuation in that is because memberships run for 5 years. You know, you can buy 5 years, a lot of them are one, but you can buy for
Yeah.
5, and so some years, several 5-year ones come up, and then you get that extra boost. So here it's pretty consistent, people are supportive, our community supports it, and that's the most important part.
Or what?
We can always do punch boards. Right. It comes in, I know.
Tuesday Night Live revenue, that's a self-funding committee, so. Any other questions on general revenue? Anything on this?
Reduced taxes, 129.
Sorry to interrupt you. Should Johnson Eats be like in this area too? Eventually, like.
Yeah, that's only one
They
line
just have
of
one
revenue.
line, okay,
And just everything that comes in, it's funneled to that one line.
okay.
And they're self-funded.
When you say self-funded, like the historic society, is it self-funded?
Historical Society costs the taxpayers money. So it's the library.
For like the building?
Depends on how you wanna look at it, but without the building, I guess they wouldn't have any line. Yes,
Okay, just curious.
so do other committees, so.
Yeah,
That's what I mean, like Tuesday Night Live self-funds, but they self-fund the previous year, so it's kind of odd, it always looks weird.
mhm.
You had a question on 129 here?
Yeah, your notes from last week said maybe increasing by 10.
I don't know. This is a line we're gonna have to come back and talk about. Right now, we're proposing $180,000 in cash on hand to reduce taxes. Little more. But I think we should,
Come
we're
back.
gonna have to come back to that one.
Okay.
Because we're gonna have to talk about cash on hand. As a whole. You happy with that?
Come back.
Okay, we're getting into expense here. Select board salaries, we have, say over, continuing down. I think. I have to reference my notes here too. The health officer salaries probably drop expense, that's 141, if the board wants to. I don't see where we really spend $3,000, and I don't foresee a massive jump in that.
We now have 3 of them, though, right, as opposed to 2.
They get more active.
Could be a year, could have a lot of pieces.
The actual has always been pretty low.
Historically around there.
Obviously, $800.
I'm good with that.
All right, let's shade that. This will be the year they'll spend more.
Of course.
At least we won't have increase in taxes.
The state will change some law. Oh, sorry. Are there any further questions under select board expense?
Oh, select board expense, yes.
I have,
I have a question on mine.
or I guess this is general government expense, sorry.
Okay.
Now we're in select board expense.
58 art expense.
Yeah, we're budgeting 15.
We're doing 15, the question is, that safe? This year it's 26.
Catching up.
This year it'll be 2.
Sorry, which one?
158.
Okay, so it's,
So that will come out of the, that may be a little look, we're gonna have that same.
Where's the revenue from that reserve? The other line of that revenue is under, just so we can make sure that is. And actually under other revenue. So our audit reserves are 34,000. Can we plug that in somewhere?
that 15 should be coming in someplace, right?
Yeah. Page 1.
You mean,
Bottom of page 1 is line 60.
Or
I think it should be between stable reserves and they are.
That's 29. I have a fund, like yeah, I plug it in somewhere and work. However that looks. So for tonight, sorry, I'm listening to you, I'm just trying to.
there you get up.
So for tonight, can I just plug it in under skate park reserves? It'll show the revenue, but we're gonna have to move it out, it'll be highlighted. That's big, Rosemary. Thank you very, very,
Yeah.
very much. Okay, Adrian, sorry.
Do we need to budget anything for development review board? We've never, they've never done anything? No, we just have 250, but. What would they,
Someplace go.
huh?
Form-based code.
I think.
It's a hope that I think we should keep budgeting.
So we should budget more or budget less?
I mean, they haven't, no
They never
money's
meet.
come-
I mean,
yeah,
I don't think they've ever.
yeah,
Never spent anything,
yeah,
ever.
What would they spend money on?
I
It doesn't cost them money to have a meeting.
right, I don't know.
I have no. I got nothing.
Would they need legal advice?
Possibly.
If something came up?
That'd be
More charge out to people.
Yeah.
Probably.
You can get that.
Get another number for that.
Sinking money.
Continuing on, it's a good point. I don't know the answer.
Do you think we should zero it or no?
Yeah. Well, if there is actual form-based code enforcement, they're gonna have to spend money on something. I don't know. Do we have to pay them, the DRB, to do like, reviews
Wasn't
of
the,
non-compliance?
I think it's a volunteer board, isn't it? It's big.
who is appointed now? Or has the planning commission appointed someone to,
Anybody who's not, they probably was on it.
no, not to the development review board, but to be the form-based code enforcer?
Town administrator.
Town administrator.
That they,
He can approve
Compliant,
compliant
Applications.
applications, otherwise it goes to.
but they've done that at a meeting recently? Do we know?
the building
Okay.
board.
Planning commission, right? Weren't we, when we were on there, we had to do that?
they're probably all.
I think we had to
We
nominate
went over here.
the town administrator originally, but we haven't done anything since.
I don't think they've
Oh.
met.
Do they make a recommendation to the select board? Is that what it was?
I think so.
Oh,
We probably could have.
but our town administrator, would he use any funds to enforce form-based code? I don't think it's not a big deal, but obviously not much money, but.
Can I talk to the ancient rocks in town and find out what that line is ever intended for?
Sure.
Very valid.
Kevin? Talk to you about line 164 for legal.
Yeah,
Looking at the history. We approved, actual for 24 was 3,700, actual for 25 was 5,800, year-to-date's 380. I know we reduced it a little bit. Would there be some room for maybe another 2,500?
how's the board feel? It may be in court a little bit, and I don't know when that will fall.
Like the idea of my experience is legal always costs more than you think it's gonna cost.
Okay.
Our last big slug cost on that was 2023 when we did a union contract. Our year-to-date for this year, probably. But next year, it's a good point, that one's a dart at a wall.
Right.
In the middle of the ocean. Let's keep it marked as a line we could come back and revisit.
Okay.
Yep.
Everybody didn't just say cut it.
How often do we do union negotiations?
I mean, the last contract was a 3-year contract.
Okay.
If they,
They've even said how long it's gonna be this time.
you know, I would hope it'd be 3 years, I hope it'd be 5,
Mhm.
you know.
Line 165, consultant services. Are we anticipating a need?
Rosemary, what falls underneath that?
Did we do the employees with, study?
That might be in here. It seems like we always spend some a lot of money. Are we anticipating a large? No, I don't have any. I don't have anything that I know the board would need it for. A future board. Unless they want to do more studies.
No gravel pit stuff.
Up in the air, and that's not gonna touch. Expense like that. Do it to trim.
But I was thinking, if, you know,
We're already at 5,700 in the current year. So
but we did a staffing study. What else did we do?
Is a future board gonna need a consultant for anything? At the town hall. I honestly, we haven't talked about that project enough. Would a future board be looking to possibly hire a facilitator for community meetings, and maybe that's funded by a grant, I don't know.
All right, yeah,
Could I pull your heartstrings with that one?
did I like?
Could I pull your heartstrings with that one?
Yeah,
I don't believe grants are gonna last forever. We always look for grants and stuff. There's gonna be a time, I don't think there'll be a grant available.
So sad.
Plus, when you're talking about consultants, I wondered if we put in a surveyor on the Como, on that one line, would that be considered a consultant? Is that where it would fall in your budget?
That would probably, it should fall under commission, planning commission, or conservation commission expense, but. It would fall under that. So you want us to increase it?
No, I just don't want us to forget that we have a line in question on a big piece of property.
Mhm.
I think we should leave it and circle it as one we may come back to.
Okay. Moving down.
insurance through, the LCT.
Pass it, but yeah. Do we know what that's, do we have a 6 month that we can multiply by? The project what that may be in 27?
So
Right now, we're just budgeting the same as we budgeted last year, and then we want down properties. I don't know what that will really cost.
That probably should be left where it is.
It's short.
Yeah, it's probably short.
Should we,
No,
70.
no increase.
the number of things we
No, don't do it. Leave it where it is.
How's the general board feel? I was worried.
It's sort of 0.5%.
Oh, the 7,000.
you said 15,000 revenue.
There you go.
That don't make any difference.
I would increase.
No.
I think it was,
That was a windfall. You don't need to.
no, I know, I don't want to spend it.
Yeah, but
I think this is money,
are we,
insurance never goes down. It doesn't stay the same. So
and we're setting a future board up for staying on that line.
Not really.
We budgeted 63,500. Your insurance company said it was 70,000. We still did it. There are some lines we do that with anyway.
Well, if we knew what the insurance company did.
John was gonna say something.
I was gonna say, because I'm looking at the status report, and year to date, we spent 37,772, so we're about 59.48%.
Is that 6 Is the payment for insurance equal?
They do it for quarters.
They went 4 quarters. But I mean, the past 6 months has been 37,000, which would make me believe that we need 74 next year, and that's assuming at the existing rate. Am I right? I don't really like this. How's the board feel about 70,000? I mean, it's a crapshoot.
Yeah,
We're gonna own more property next year, but what will lecture hall have? For insurance expense,
I was gonna get half of their bridge at.
right? Plus, do the buyout properties budget that much?
I went these up to, just land. It's a mortgage fund.
When we buy new equipment, it's that budget.
sad to say, yeah, 70.
And that's probably gonna be short.
Mhm.
Scientific lab, yes, all right. Moving down, anybody else have questions? I had a question on 183. This was a road fund question. It's labeled as expense for tax sales. Do we need to add expense for tax sales for 2027 or?
Put it under legal.
Just put it under legal. We're talking about trimming that one. That's where the expense is, so it's just legal, there's no other.
Which one?
Yes.
Yes.
184 is the 10 cents on the GL tax, that's the payment to the village.
Yeah.
That is going down by 1.52%, but that's based on Justin's lodge village grand list, it's just 10% of that, right? I believe that should be accurate. For the penny. We don't have much say over that one. Moving down, 187, John actually provided us. This is the finalized county report.
Yeah.
So they had proposed 32,200. Came back finalized with 33,300. This is the right report, plug into that. Not much to say over this one, I might as well be accurate, it's my feelings, or, yes, no.
So 33,351.
33351, yeah. Or. Without imprinting. LCPC gave us their dues, VLCT provided their dues, I think Rosemary got that.
Yeah, that's in your packet.
Yes, the dues. Actually 61, 82. I'm assuming that this board would like to continue using LCPC services.
Yes.
Possibly fighting that one.
What's else?
Or no, it's VLCT. My apologies.
Right.
Not
Where
LCPC.
we have those pieces.
Yeah, that got emailed. Like
Yeah.
early last week.
Okay. So the number is accurate.
Yeah, the 2998,
98.
2898, 79. Is accurate.
Cool.
Cool, expenses going up everywhere. Thanks. Anybody else?
Sorry, go ahead.
You weren't, so line 194, in your notes that you sent out, you were not suggesting we reduce that, were you?
Line 194 funds the emergency management reserve fund. I'm saying that this may be a year where it needs to be reduced. to 7,500. Or 8,500, I think is what I threw out there.
How much currently has 75,000?
How much money needs to be in that? More.
Biggest emergency.
Right, it's right around 75,000, it's at the bottom, but
Okay.
I wrote something, $75,129. And that will be needed if we have, you know, an emergency that doesn't meet FEMA thresholds.
You like the fees when FEMA doesn't pay up,
How much?
or we have a disaster here,
Yeah.
but we don't meet the state federal FEMA guidelines.
Right, here for the town. I believe we used this in 2023 to buffer a little bit, and then we got paid back from FEMA, rebuilt it,
Do you know how much we used?
all of it.
All of it?
For the SGN.
Well, that was 2019.
Oh.
2023, didn't we use it for like there was uncertainty on the landfill expense, if that would be reimbursed. That was 60,000. We ended up being reimbursed, but if not, that year we could have used it for that.
And did we have enough? So we used all of it?
And then we got reimbursed from FEMA.
I know, but like, what are things we weren't able to help or do because we didn't have enough money?
I think we got by. I know we didn't have enough money to, you know, put the municipal office together like that. We kind of rely on cycles.
Yeah.
2019 was that ice jam about $30,000, something like that. Was there a Scrivener Bridge one year that was? 30? Was there a large culvert at some
Oh,
point?
yeah.
It was around $30,000 because of flood.
I'm nervous to decrease it.
Which, yeah.
I'm nervous to decrease it at all.
Mhm.
I think it could decrease to 8,500 and then future board should get back to 10,000 if they could. Kind of light wiggle room.
Yeah, next year's not gonna be any better than this year, so.
I think it's fun now, it's not. Then the following year, you could jump $50,000 and then pilot goes back.
Yeah, yeah.
The board wants to see it 8,500?
I'm okay with 8,500. I look forward to the day it goes back up again.
Chill.
Okay.
You okay with that?
I'm good with that.
You okay with that?
Whatever.
Okay. It's been fun tonight. Where are we going now? As we go down, I think my next.
Oh, I have a question.
Yep.
Shoot. Go ahead, I'll. Right.
So,
We can talk about these potatoes. You know, the small ones that add up
if you want to.
for Zeta.
Solid waste landfill expense. That's line 206. Probably going the wrong way, but we always overspent that.
So that includes
That's
testing and trash removal.
correct.
Trash removal is almost $700 a month.
What?
$700 a month.
And we don't get reimbursed for the testing from landfill, but we get reimbursed for the testing down there. Because we don't even have to pay for the testing. Why was it so high in 2025? I'll probably just be able to do some work at the landfill. Yeah,
Oh,
Why is this year so low?
Are we even tested yet?
it's a pretty big bill.
Yeah, we only do
seem to remember the report in spring or in summer. Don't you worry, they'll get it before the.
Was recovered meetings, was that, Reimagine Johnson?
Yes, yeah.
So we spent 5,831. But we got a grant,
We got a
so it covers it? Okay,
Yeah, and that shows in revenue
okay,
up
Okay.
above for that year that we got it.
okay.
So we leaving landfill at 12? Or,
We should probably increase it to 13 because Paul trimmed my emergency management by $1,000. You know, and some of these things are a wash, but I personally believe the accuracy to the voters and taxpayers is important. So, you know, sometimes we can shrug and say, oh yeah, we put $1,000 there, we added it here, there's no effect, and really there's none on the tax rate. Well, it's planning.
One of the budget as clear as we can.
Yeah.
I'm okay with 13. I'm still not enough.
with what?
Probably needs to be 13.5 at least.
13.5.
We're going the wrong way on this.
We have them since we got into expense. We really haven't shaved enough on.
It's better off just left it the way it was.
Continuing down, town office expense, I really don't think there's anything to trigger there.
I have a question about line 216.
Yes,
Purchases, you magically spend $30,000 every year.
whatever we don't spend on that year funds the buildings and grounds reserve fund. So we're talking about having $188,000 in cash on hand to do projects on the town hall.
Just put it in there.
Or Rosemary orders exactly 30,000.
I would-
No, you have a server, so we're gonna be spending money this year.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Let's move on. Yeah. It's just the remainder, so it'll always be 30,000. There is 2 elections this year, so that 219 should probably trim back down the next year. Anything further? The general comment on professional training.
Yeah.
Expense.
I agree with what you said.
I support your comment, but we've never spent anywhere near 4,000, so I would propose drop that to 3,000. Spend it.
Does John wanna do any professional development?
It's good.
I
getting
think we should
contacts.
support.
Yeah.
But we drop that by 1,000, but actually try to spend it.
Most of it's ever spent was from 460.
That's since 2023, yeah.
3, put it at 3.
On line 12, postage,
212.
or 212, sorry. We, it went up in 2024 and then back down in 2025, but we have 8,000 in case it goes back up again, or? We just do 7,000 instead?
Or 6. Yeah, 7.
I'm looking at you, Rose,
That
sorry.
was 24, so
We nailed out a lot of things in 24 because of the 23 flood. You can't get free postage for a municipality.
Rates are going up twice a year.
Yeah.
And I know that figure is very low, but you pay it again at the end of the year. Hasn't been updated. Yeah.
You said we maybe send out less since we hopefully will have it.
Anybody can control the weather, let's do it.
How many delinquent taxes?
I don't know. None.
Okay.
That's the point we need to get to.
Mhm.
That's just-
We're already on higher than what we started with, the bottom line already.
So that can stay. Are we trimming professional training 3,000 and challenging staff to try to solve it? Please. Somebody get on it.
Was that an election grant?
We did.
Okay,
Rosemary did that all on her own.
oh, great, good job,
We might offer another one. Next year.
yeah,
Right, we can get up the end of this year.
oh, cool.
It's a private entity.
This professional training isn't the true cost. of Professional training. Because you're paying an employee to go to that, which they receive pay, plus you're paying for the training itself. So this isn't really the true cost.
But wouldn't you be paying them to work?
Right, but I mean, they're not working, they're at a professional training seminar. or whatever. But I mean,
But the training will make them a better worker, so.
that's what it's supposed to do, yes.
But they're
So the work will be.
making fewer widgets. Got that.
I think you're in the minority on this one, Mike.
Well, whatever, I mean, I went to a lot of professional training when I was, so I don't think I got a lot out of it. Good day for a day off, good day for a day off of pay, some extra credits, but didn't do much good.
Did you change postage?
No.
Okay.
You're gonna change professional training to 3, or leave it at 4?
I changed it to 3. I thought
Good,
that's
that's fine.
trying to encourage employees to use it.
Yes,
I know that there was some training talk about rec, and we're probably gonna look back, but that could fit in the professional training. Rec doesn't need to increase tax revenue. Already have money, it's just gonna not. Correct? Okay. I kind of lost the section around.
Finished town office.
Okay, buildings and grounds.
sorry, should I ask another question? For computer support, is that through, Microsoft?
Let's do tech.
That group and through them.
Oh, okay. We should evaluate those, it's pretty high, I know. We should evaluate those.
Our contract's up.
I bet you $100 our professional delegation
And
does not go through an 1,800-page budget. Line by line.
Brother.
Did you go through line by line at your last town?
Yes.
Okay. Buildings and grounds. I didn't have much here until we got onto that additional items at 251.
Questions?
Yep.
First one, my first line, 229, is that the commercial?
What's your question?
You don't like this building.
Oh,
It's half of the electricity for this building, isn't it, Rosemary?
for the mill house,
The mill house is in this one, not in the highways.
right? This is storage, the garage and stuff. Full storage.
This building, yeah.
That's half the electricity for this building. I guess it'd be half for that one as well, but only one half for that. What's the next general question?
General question I have, 34. What building do you want?
Well,
We need 5K.
I really don't know. Well, the difficult thing about this is we're talking about the cost in dollars of heat for the winter of 26, 27. So if petroleum magically drops, we don't need $2,500 in there. If it skyrockets, we're short. But does the board want to trim it a little bit?
Yeah,
But do you have enough electricity now that we got heat pumps?
Probably not.
Well, I'm saying money here. I'm fighting money.
We're paying a lot more for fuel than we actually should too. A lot of people get far better deals than what we're getting. That's saying the last year. But that's something for somebody to negotiate.
I guess arguably the heat should go down even more.
Yeah.
This year, but maybe electricity.
Well, But now we're on a what? We're not really about propane.
Do we want to go to 4,500? Let's see.
Go to 4,000.
that's worth it.
What?
Go to 4,000.
On heat?
Yeah,
Some smarter thermostats.
I tell you, oil's gonna drop like a rock.
Well, year to date, we spent 1,063.49 according to the status report.
Yeah, I don't even know when we're billed. There's due to do funds. The village purchases the building. Maybe they're reconciled, change it. Paul, keep up with your difficult questions.
My best. Another general comment, why the hell are all the Dr. Copeland House expenses right all over the place? Why don't they just lump together? That's been nuts.
That'd be too easy.
Yeah, I know.
Well, in all fairness, I think boards add lines at different times.
Like, oh, so
I'm sure you
the,
had that next year.
the Holcomb House, like the grounds is with the other grounds and then,
Electricity is electricity.
Yeah.
Why don't we just focus on what we're dealing with right now and save the history lesson for some other time.
Wonderful general comment. Further questions on expense?
Yeah, 247,
Yep.
open house building capital. 55.5 this year. We are,
Is that- The electrical system was replaced, but we got rid of it for it.
In and out.
It's really not tied to our estimate, we're tied to our quota. Like I said, you could spend $10 million next year and bring it in.
Okay, so we're, I guess I'm employing with that, the 20,000 we have here. Would we pull some of that from?
Right now, when we were talking about it earlier, it was already there. So the $20,000 currently is for the roof project. And there was $20,000 in reserve revenue up above.
Okay, so.
That's when we had that long conversation, about moving that up
That's
to
very
30.
offset.
Yeah, that's money in, money out. If you don't do the project, you're not bringing the money in, but you're not affecting the tax rate either way. Clock tower maintenance. Modest trim, town hall building maintenance.
It'd be a good idea to, call that Old Town Hall,
Yes.
so people don't confuse it
Better
with
than mine.
this building.
wait, why not new town hall? It's new.
No, it's the old town.
It's new to me.
You haven't added those,
It's never been my town hall.
you haven't added those.
My town.
yet, have you, those, right?
No, I don't.
All right,
And these numbers were all based on Holcomb House, right?
no, that capital expense is just $10,000, I officially plugged in there.
That was money that was pulled out of the air for that special town meeting.
But the other things like electricity,
That was based on some bills that we had and kind of rounded off because who knows?
Yeah, you were looking at the whole house.
Yeah.
For the electricity, yeah.
But all of these figures here, they're very low. For that whole thing.
They are.
It probably should be kept just the way they are.
They're wild guesses, but they're all.
Shouldn't be, not be.
Anybody else?
Did we adjust anything? We said we're keeping it all?
It's there as is.
I mean, I feel like we wouldn't do maintenance unless we got a grant.
There may be maintenance we have to do on that business without a grant, just to maintain the building.
Yeah,
You think so?
maintenance we might have to do with, the capital expense, we might not, if we didn't get a grant.
Well, I tell you, sometimes you have to do things just to preserve your building, whether or not you have any grants or not. And that's a 200-year-old building right now. There's gonna be some expenses on that.
We could trim it. And, yeah, it's a guess at $5,000.
You're willing to trim that, but you're not willing to trim some of these other things that could be probably just as easily trimmed. I guess I don't get it. Which one?
That's upset. Peter,
yes.
do you have a question? If I missed anybody in the audience?
It's worth my notes, I gave our capital expense to 5,000
Which doesn't matter anymore because we brought in $10,000 from the reserve fund and that we just trimmed $10,000 off the tax.
You got more than $10,000 movie.
But you can't bring in buildings and grounds reserve fund to pay for heat, maintenance, the call. Everything above that 10,000
Oh,
is money from the taxpayers. That 10,000 is offset.
Right.
Same as historic society's $20,000 roof, which we don't know if we're gonna do. If we go to the project, we're gonna bring the money.
Okay.
Grounds maintenance would be mowing and snow removal.
No, because when we talked about mowing, we bumped up the grounds mowing line 238 from 15,000 to 18,000. Assuming that cost would go up and added, well, lecture hall grounds maintenance would be mulch, trees, other maintenance of the grounds. What's the whole amount spend it on? We carry money for it every year.
Somebody knows.
I'm sure. More questions?
okay, so
260. I don't know what the board wants to put in there. That's the animal control expense that we carry for the kenneling service. The $10,000 that we have plugged in was based on a recommendation from Hyde Park. They've changed the recommendation, which I sent to the board early last week, to level fund and add 2% if we want as a buffer. So budget 5,100 plus 2%. 10,000 and that's what we want to do.
6.
Add 6%.
They're saying keep it level. And if we want an additional 2%
Buffer.
buffer. So what's 2% of 51?
Little over.
$100, right? Is it $100? $2?
Yeah. So would you do 5250 or 6?
Isn't there some, I remember there was some talk about, the kennel before, I don't know what the current status is.
The kennel agreement that we have with Hyde Park is an intermunicipal agreement for kennel services. Hyde
Yeah.
Park has the contract with the kennel provider who it's not legal to bring Hyde Park to the table to provide members.
Okay, so if we have a functioning kennel right now.
Currently, yes, in the contract.
Okay,
The 1 year, so.
alright,
Um, 10,000 seems like too much.
We're at 5250. It's 2.94% increase.
5250.
I'll take up to talk about that. Now we're gonna get into the rest of emergency services NEMS. Everybody saw that. Sheriff's Department came back in the 589,265 is their proposal. John has that in the packet. Patrol has come back at less. Right. So the patrol proposal for Johnson is $77,864. Everybody got these. We don't have much of a choice other than not have police services. So
Are we ever gonna, this just keeps going. Are we gonna ever cut back on services a little bit to save a little money for the taxpayers? I mean, you're looking at these two lines here for $667,370. That's the majority of our budget right there. There's no public safety.
emergency services is 27% of our budget.
how do we cut back on it?
Less patrols or whatever. We do. The people in the town think we're getting that kind of value for that amount of money.
No?
I think you're right. What are we gonna do about it?
I think there's more violent crime that needs to happen. We might not see the sheriff's department patrolling as much, but they may have occupancy with violent crime. But it's a good point. Do we want to budget for it and bring Roger in here and ask for details? What the options are?
I think we need some options for this, to tell you the truth. And I don't know if we're gonna get them or not. I don't know if we're gonna be satisfied with what we get for an answer, but we at least need some answers.
Fair enough. We got the estimate from the fire department, 108,991.11. Which, I'm not sure if the board remembers, we plugged a fictitious 3% in, they came back at 3.75, so I shouldn't budge us a ton from where we are, hopefully. Moving to the library. My next question, but we can take anything the board has. My next question is on 290. Run as building capital expense for the library. I did ask if we could trim that wholly because it's gonna be a new building under warranty. I personally don't think there should be a capital expense at that point, but I don't know if you talk to the library, Peter.
I have not, but I agree with you.
I'll put a wall up It's anything that's not maintenance
Oh,
project.
oh, okay.
They want new concrete steps. John, you want to add to that?
Yeah, well, in talking with Kelly this week, I think there's still some work that needs to be done on the library building itself. But they haven't had a chance to do, and they're short by a lot of money. So, I mean, would we leave some of that there to just to have?
You're talking about the concrete steps versus the granite steps.
No, no, I'm talking about trimming building capital expense completely out of the library budget for
Because we got like
2027.
two conversations going on about the new library and the old library. That's what this is all about, is the old library.
But are they gonna have to do projects after the project is done? It's the question.
Well, my understanding is that there's still work to the building itself. It hasn't been done
The original building.
in the original building. I don't know how much of that was figured into the project.
There's a thousand insurance
Yeah,
money for that. Potentially worth it.
That's
that goes to the old one.
In the old building.
Yeah.
This might be a question for them.
Can we trim it and have Peter or Don talk a little and see if,
I mean,
I
What do you
feel
wanna
like we
trim it
don't
to?
Needed it. I don't think we need it at all, like me personally.
I wanna trim it to zero.
I can do it.
Because I think that any repairs they would do would be with everything else. so.
That's some of the other problems.
That was easy.
yeah, I,
Get rid of it.
I
Move on.
I don't see the need for it in this budget year,
Yeah,
given the work that's being done.
yeah.
And it looks like, they have, at least for 2 or 3 years, budgeted $6,000 as a, so I don't know that that represents a plan.
So what's the difference between building maintenance repairs / supplies and building capital?
It's like building something new. Maintenance is.
Okay,
Water heater goes,
That's the big
water here goes, yeah.
well then are they gonna need maintenance repairs?
They wanna add a second water heater to the capital expense,
Okay.
or like change the whole boiler out.
Then will they need building maintenance repairs / supplies too?
Might not need all 5,000, but we need something in there.
Six.
I like where Adrian, so let's.
Zero.
Well, I just think for the year that it's all gonna be.
They don't need it there this year.
What they're doing.
We're going up on
We may need to do some maintenance or repairs
Oh,
to the
yes.
Masonic Lodge before we leave.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah. So I think it could be smaller now, maybe 3,000.
Everybody else agree with Adrian?
25.
Trim the whole street.
Get rid of the whole thing, but 2,500 will do it.
Okay.
2,500 for line
Adrian said
289.
I say 25.
Huh?
Are you at 25?
25's fine.
All right.
Okay, yeah,
Is that okay, Paul?
25.
That
He
seems
says it's
reasonable.
fine.
Sounds a little low for me, but that's all right.
Peter or John will,
We don't really need any of it.
somebody needs to communicate these to the library, what we did tonight with those two lines, and see if they have a plan or a need. Communicate that to us.
We can reach out to them.
They take care of both of them.
Peter,
The
did you-
6 was 0. 6 was 0.
Yeah,
You and me?
okay.
Good.
We go up to line 279, which I think is grant fund purchases.
279.
79, yeah.
That's some money in, money out. If they, so the library's proposing receiving 3350 in grants and revenue, they're proposing spending the same amount. Grant expense, so if they got a grant for a
So it's 33.
bookshelf,
The advertising.
they need to buy a bookshelf, that costs.
I think it's 33.5 over here someplace.
Should be.
You've been making the changes in real time, correct?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, what's the bottom line now?
So, just to answer Paul's question, on line 73 is library revenue, and it's called grant funds, that's $3,350. So they're showing money in, money expense. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, 4,165.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so, sorry, I lost my spot.
Non-IT services for library.
Never have their own.
Sorry.
They have their own people that do it.
We're below 5.
What do you need, people?
They don't do.
It's 8:30, you have 15 more minutes. 8:45.
Wait, a lot. Yeah, here's the 700, 800.
That's the
1,200. 27.
You know, they may get the two levels set up. I'm sure they can borrow on the computers.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not. Good call. Good. Rec spend, not much to say there. We were just spending more on the program. We received fees. Skate park spend. There, historic society spend. Nobody's stopping me.
No, we're not running.
326. That's a spend.
Line 326. Events and programs. Skate park, sorry, yeah.
So
That's right there.
That's there.
I don't know the Let's Roll program costs, but they do.
All
Make a big party for the skate park.
There you go. What's next, Paul?
331, we need 5,000.
Well, they got all that skate park. What FEMA's not gonna pay.
Yeah, there's a delta there, which we don't know what it is. But that is supposed to be completed before July 1, correct?
Yes.
We're building a budget for July 1. I think there'll be a buffer that could stand my late invoice. Cut it.
Yeah. For the wrap of TCM. For the wrap of TCM.
Would you like to talk to Casey, Paul, about that?
Proposed 4K.
For
Paul stand 4.
331.
I'm saying 4, let him take it up in case it, make it 4.
All right.
But she's got 5,000 in fundraising, so. I don't know if that's your offset for it.
I'm not sure. Okay. No questions on historic society spend? Isn't that spend self-funded?
No. That board does an excellent job over there, by the way.
That what?
Yeah, that board, Historical Society board does an excellent job.
Oh. Mhm.
Yeah, who's on that?
Yeah. What's the difference between line 340 and line 349? Building and grounds and building.
The building fund is money that they fundraise for. It's for their, the Inc. part of the historical society.
The town,
Sometimes the town gets the money and we have to pay it back.
the town.
There
pays
should
it
be
on
an,
top of that.
Say again, sorry.
they send out their fundraising letters. And the Johnson Historic Society, Inc. have fundraising letter. And sometimes people pay their membership fee. And they want to make a donation to the Inc. part of it. So all this deposited in the town account. And the town has to write a check back to the store.
I'm asking about building and grounds, which is building.
That's, the building fund is that Inc.
That's one of the ones.
You seem confused.
Okay.
You do,
That probably could be.
the 501c3 is an independent nonprofit.
Yeah.
It's just the town doing all the treasury, and handling of funds for it.
It should be $1,000 revenue.
Is there a revenue?
Should be.
That's close.
But what I was gonna say was, the money comes in together with the donations that are made out to the historical society. And then there's some people will write the check to Inc. And so it's not all of the money that's coming in. Rosemary's
Yeah,
not
you got to
maintaining, you know, treasurer. For the 501c3, totally separate. It's just so that people don't have to write out two checks or, you know, it just works well together because it's all for the same purpose in mind.
There is revenue for that cost. Yeah, it's another line we can just delete. Revenue and expenses from that. Continuing down, down.
Could we go back to, what, horse-drawn carriages on dirt roads? Just do away with the highway budget altogether?
Oh, I was like, what line is highway horse carriage?
Sure.
I think that should be 1,200.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Does he now pay for the porta potty on weekend too?
Yes.
They do, year round?
Well, for the 2 months to get there,
There's one right, there's one there now.
recreation fees are.
Oh, okay.
Things cost $600 a month.
A couple of them,
Wow.
What if we just saved all that money and then built it back?
Bathrooms are problematic.
You have problems in them?
Well, no, with the outside bathrooms, you know, to try to maintain a bathroom like that, especially heat or whatever you're trying to do. You know, I've seen places before where vandals have got in and destroyed it, you know, trying for the town, trying to maintain,
Yeah.
you know, a nice facility. So, you know, we can't get into that kind of a thing.
Yeah, Eagle Lake had a public bathroom and they had some major issues with maintenance.
They put cherry bombs in or whatever. Big joke, you know.
Stuff with toilet and try to flush it. Try to overflow it.
Anyways,
Two questions here, line 366. Remember Duncan saying at one point that library crew doesn't have a class 4. Line 19, that's why I told us now. Prove it.
sorry, Paul, say what line?
Line 366, class 4 road labor is only according to Duncan, it's because the guys don't put any time to it. So it doesn't exist on the time sheet. Suggest that's something to take a look at. And see if it's true, that fix it.
Yeah,
If we can get them to code it.
I agree.
That won't have an overall effect on the budget.
Oh, sorry. Line 370, insurances.
Yep.
Nothing.
Insurance policy.
Did we ever look at the difference in cost of shield versus
Yeah,
each?
They just, but
no. I emailed that up before, 27,000.
okay,
I think we left it.
The overall full cost is $182,796. Blue Cross Blue Shield will be $155,612.
well, that's not for the border company, just say that they're going to offer MVP.
We've already sent this year.
I know.
Okay, so just note, so that should be something we should look at.
Yeah, I think overall it's done.
Well, just like a comment about future insurances.
Yeah.
There is a greater, I don't know if the board recognizes the greater financial impact to the employee moving over to 90% MVP plan. Like for myself, it'll be several $100 a month out of the paycheck versus my. I mean, it'll be a big expense for the health insurance to change. I'm not saying it shouldn't change it, it's not. Because to recognize how much of a financial impact it would be over $100 a year for me specifically out of my pocket.
So you think if we covered 90% of the MVP plan, and you chose to go with the Ross Shield anyway?
No, if I stayed on my current plan and you folks covered 90% of MVP, it would be significant. Income.
We all have to look at our employees here, because we also have to look at everybody that's in the town that
Absolutely.
doesn't have the same types of healthcare that we offer here. You know, my daughter spends $800 a month for healthcare.
Yeah.
You know, so it's nothing that other people haven't had to cope with.
Fair. I just wanted to throw it out there that it would be, I don't know if the board recognized how much of a financial impact to the employee changing that, it would be huge.
Yeah,
It would be a monthly thing. It wouldn't be couldn't be several $100s.
Now when employees jump on them and they don't have to pay anything. If you go, then you're gonna make them pay 10%, pay $2,000 a month, there's $200.
I mean, if the overall savings is $27,000, right? You could save $500 a week, 52 weeks a year. Both of them $500 a week. That would be spread out over how many employees?
No, that's
Huh?
covering it. Half a dozen.
10.
That's, I'm trying not to say it's here, but be conscious. $500 is spread over 10 to $50 per employee on average. We can several hundred.
I can show you. It's
I have the plan. Trading.
It's over it will be over $300 a month for me out of my pocket.
So not multiple
Because
hundred a
of
week,
like-
multiple hundred a month.
Well, it'll be almost
$75
$100
a
a week.
Yeah.
Straight out of the paycheck, though, I mean, that's. it's just all-
I'm not advocating one way or another, I'm just trying to use that.
I just wanna make it clear that it would be a hardship for me to use that contribution.
So thank you.
We back on the highway now? We off highway? We kind of got the highway and went back.
We're going down that.
We can play uniform?
That's a song, isn't it?
They're expensive.
On the road again?
Yeah, does the select board want uniforms
For highway? Oh, for us?
for the highway department? Leave it as is for now.
What is it? Not to be a dead person. Anybody know what these uniforms are made out of? Are they 100% cotton or are they polyester?
Not that
I
cost.
think it says it on the invoice.
What's that?
I think it says it on the invoice.
On the invoice?
First.
Because these polyester uniforms are dangerous, they're fire.
Awesome, these are pure gold.
I tell you, I got a big scar on my arm from my sleeve caught fire. Yeah, working for Mooresville, because they're thinking plastic, polyester is plastic. 65% polyester, 35% cotton. Work right up, and it's like a candlestick. So if you're gonna have a uniform, it should be like 100% cotton or something,
Yeah.
at least something safe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not being glib about this.
No, no.
Yeah, this is true.
But do you think that we should pay for uniforms, or the employees should wear what they would like and maybe something safer?
I would advocate it like a uniform contribution maybe, and then they can buy their own.
Mhm.
So, you know, and I'm being a devil's advocate here. But, you know, if we gave them an unsafe uniform,
Yeah.
and then they did have a cop fire or something, they could come back and say, you know, you did provide a uniform, but it wasn't safe,
Yeah.
you know, so if they were given a uniform allowance, they're given a boot allowance.
Yeah.
If they have a uniform allowance, they can buy their own brand, and it would be on them if anything happened to them.
So if we budget $7,500, future board could, take that.
It sounds like a union contract.
It really does, and
Yeah,
maybe we need to think about that.
we don't have a union contract right now. And we're gone beyond the time of the union contract. To actually take the uniforms out for this budget. If you wanted to.
We really want to rock the boat that much.
Other companies don't provide uniforms, but they give a uniform allowance.
Would it just be the same amount though? With no allowance to spend?
It's just all right. It's just all right.
Just all right.
I know, when I worked in the mill, the guys at the garage, all had uniforms. And basically the big thing was, you know, you're working on equipment, you're getting greasy, you're getting oily. You don't want to take that home and throw it in your wife's washing machine. So this way here, UniFirst would come in, pick it up, take it out, clean it, and then bring it back.
And they wear the uniforms home, they leave them at work.
Well, what it is they would collect them at home, but then they would bring them into work when the guy showed up. And the guy would pick them all up, take them back to where he was from, and they would wash it there.
Without,
And to really stick another wrench in the works. If you're gonna give uniforms or give uniform allowance to outside crew, then you ought to give it to the inside crew too.
I asked for that once, I said, he told me no.
this
It's only fair.
Paid select board.
You want a uniform?
It's only fair. I mean, she doesn't necessarily have a uniform, but she could receive a uniform allowance, a clothes allowance.
Okay, so without getting too much into the nitty gritty, we're talking about the budget. Are we okay with budgeting an amount of money of $7,500 for uniforms to do something with?
I'm gonna cause as much trouble as I can before.
Give
I
out
leave.
an allowance or pay for uniforms.
If we don't have a contract, there's no reason to fix it.
Leave it the way it is.
Oh, thank you, Peter. Hearing no objections.
$875 was really $13,000, 12,900.
Yeah, we changed vendors, you know. Remember watching that? Yeah.
Uniforms are nice because then you,
Yeah, we changed.
You see who
vendors.
they are.
We're gonna have one less person.
or you can buy them a hat that says the same thing.
Or like a pin or something
Right.
cheaper.
We don't have to spend that kind of money.
I think it is kind of a lot.
Right now, it's just hiring, it's 4 people.
And that's what it costs.
So, I think we have a meeting with the union tomorrow, maybe 8:30, that update the board on what we need budget for uniforms.
Start with reduce.
That's a negotiable thing for a contract, actually.
Thank you.
And thank you very much, Rosemary, for bringing that up.
All right. Line 374. Needless capital purchases. What? Somewhere in buildings and grounds is where I was talking about. When the work for the MERP grants happening, you might want more money in. From buildings and grounds to have it done, I don't know if it's 2027 or the end of 2026, so I probably don't. It's just a general comment, there's no changes. Capital purchases, is that what that would go under, Rosemary?
Well, I'm looking at the big amount under buildings and grounds, 28,500. Is that supposed to be for the heating system?
That is an estimated final. I think so. That's estimated final. Anything under summer roads? Anybody? Don't think there's no takers. I can finish real quick. When,
Contribution to duty reserve, line 387. Not taking that. 115.
where?
Yes.
Yes,
387.
that's what we're talking about.
What's the balance of it?
We were talking about that earlier. You're on the right, where the blue is. $238,367.68, as of June 30th. 2020. Does that include the last year's injection wells, right? That's, current balance in fund is line 472. All those blues are cash on.
Yeah, no. Heating reserves.
Yes. But we will need to continue to put money in the blacktop to build up reserves so we can afford the project.
Yes, I was wondering if we could drop that by.
What's the board want to do? I personally feel like it's underfunded, but asphalt is volatile, fuel goes up, asphalt goes up, fuel goes down, asphalt companies are released, they charge whatever they want anyways.
We're gonna be having $40 barrel.
Can we take some from 388 and add it there? Gravel stone.
We could reduce the paving reserve by a few thousand. If everybody wants, snapshot in time. We're currently at a 3.916% increase to taxes, but we haven't adjusted our grand list by this sheet yet. Still good to look everything tight. I don't think we need to cut $100,000 in the next 5 months. That's all I'm getting at.
I think 388 is kind of high though.
Bill Wyatt.
Huh?
It's the same as it's been for quite a while.
What's that again?
I think
For 2
388
years, I
is
guess.
kind of high.
Line 380?
Yeah,
Well, 380 or 388?
388 gravel stone.
So that was always, it was $40,000 before,
Mhm.
but we had $15,000 in mud abatement projects.
Mhm.
And then last year, we reduced mud abatement to 0 and increased gravel because that's what it's being used for. It costs what, $14 at a ton?
Gravel's not cheap.
Thanks what?
Mud abatement, I
How
only
many,
see
how many tons can make that truck? 30?
What?
Yeah, I'm way too high.
Yeah,
In a dump truck?
Yeah.
Tandem?
Oh, yardage would be like what, 15?
probably
To
15 there.
20 ton,
Yeah.
$14. Every truckload costs $300.
Mhm.
Just a dump.
Oh, but we don't have a gravel pit,
We don't.
so maybe we should do that. too. Gravel pit.
Just control.
You talked about dust control last time, didn't you?
Yeah, I talked to Jason about it there, and he mentioned there that May and June is when he does a lot of his work. We got 42 miles of gravel roads. He said if they hit that hard, they can put a layer on it, and it really helps with maintenance over the summer. So, because I mentioned there that this is what we had spent year to date, we had $10,000. I thought we could take some out and still be in good shape, but he said from May to June, he expects to use most of that amount.
Fill it up, put it on harder for the summer.
You probably should leave that where it is. We're looking pretty good at the bottom line.
Well, then do what the board wants. I know we had Jason in a last meeting, put them nice that all these.
Leave it where it is.
One line in highway, there's actually 2 that I'd like. 3 that I'd like to mess with. One is class 4 road maintenance. I know Jason is paying them 3,500. But now we're doing a reserve fund, whatever we don't spend doesn't come back from cash on hand goes for reserve fund. I'd rather see that go back down to 2,500 and then add $1,000 to miscellaneous material. For the overall effect is the same, but if we don't spend it, it could come back from cash on hand next year. That sound like
Yeah, that sounds good, yeah.
Like, we-
that's too complicated?
No,
Rosemary and sprinkling are known at me, so that's usually
I'll just
bad.
look over the phone.
Class 4 stuff.
we just looking at something.
2,500.
No, at the bottom.
Yeah, but line 397 is going from 0 to 1,000.
Mhm.
2,500 and.
I thought it was quarter to 11.
Line
That's what it feels
401,
like.
I did propose to the board, and I did talk with Jason about reducing winter sand to 75,000. Think we can do it.
Sarah down 75.
1,000.
Yes.
Million. Bridge questions? I think time to lean anyways.
We have any issues with culverts? Like flooding or anything? Projects coming up?
Majority of our purchase under grants now, so we purchase them and get reimbursed.
Geez, we applied for this one.
Alec Jones for the LCBC.
Oh.
Jason works for them.
No, I only actual to zero. This grant.
Yeah. Granted away. The next one. Contribution for the capital highway reserve. Seems like a steep increase, but I think we kind of saw the effects of that and it's on the road. That's what it is.
So we're talking about
I jumped right down into equipment that I should have not have.
01419.
Yep.
40.
Or 19. 418 is expense for the equipment, 419 beats the fund.
So go back to 418 for a second. So
Yeah.
the 203, that was the truck we didn't buy. So high.
Yeah.
Next year.
The other thing that goes in that 203 is we bought $100,000 foreman truck out of Ford. Mike was a big supporter of that.
I gotta hear this every single. I tell you, I'm only one board member and it passed. So with the remaining time I have left on the board, I would prefer not to hear that ever again. All right?
I can find them out.
You're not offended, but I mean, two can play this game.
Peter supported it too. I mean, that's the expense for the equipment that we're expecting, and just looking at it, the foreman truck, yeah, we're finishing payments on 2021 HX and the salt truck. That's a portion of the payment going down.
That's where some savings come from.
We haven't heard a thing from the salesman since.
Not to my knowledge, no.
Yeah, so I guess that's where it's going. We budget for that. Still gotta buy it.
It's already budgeted for.
Should we,
Currently, I mean, that's money in, money out. But currently we are budgeting as though we will pay $49,955.19 over the 12-month period. I mean, that has a 5% interest rate built into it, but it's not perfect. We need the actual loan.
have you been included in the emails, for that equipment?
I just have one,
Okay, should John search his email for that?
probably,
Okay.
we talked about that, some of that stuff, background. Anything else? Appropriations? All staying the same?
There's gonna be one more added on to
Yeah. Likely,
that. That's only $2,000.
but that'll be
Discuss it, yeah, I mean,
bigger than the tax rates,
Oh,
to learn.
burn, yeah.
that'll be talking about.
The other thing that we were given.
So Fleming and Howard Nichols,
Yeah.
their request is for the same amount that's been in there for
Oh, there, okay.
a long time. And unless we receive for an increase, that the policy requires a petition. Otherwise, we're just included. Think
So that works. You don't have to have a petition for regular, just for the increase or new request.
That's the policy that the board started in like 2003. I sent it to you, but I don't.
Yeah.
You know, I'll change it. in your book.
What's the difference between lines 454 and 455?
One says conservation, one says conservation reserve fund.
Yeah. What about the reserve fund? What's the other one?
That's what's reserved in our regular budget, because the way we end up paying for things, we get $450 we have to save in order to pay for the brush hog.
Uh-huh.
So it's our reserve fund.
Yeah, but there's two lines. One says,
The conservation reserve fund is totally separate. That's the
Donations they are received.
Uh-huh.
donations or grants.
Right.
And it's,
or the line item.
right. It's what is under state statute. We follow those regulations.
So if we underspend in a year, it goes into that conservation line, that reserve?
Did a
Got it.
board make a motion to do that?
It's basically your cash on hand.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
But we're,
It's the kind of thing where so much work just gets done in the summer or into the fall, so it's crossing budget years. It's been working well for 20 years, so you know, it's not broken. It's not changes.
I've only been a member for, what, 4 years, and I finally am asking that question.
yeah, I'm not arguing whether it works or not, I'm changing it. I'm saying if it's money, that's the taxpayers' money carried over without a motion from the select board. But we don't automatically do that for all committees. It seems like conservation is getting an unfair advantage, maybe.
Other boards have become reserve funds, huh?
Become reserve funds, but they have their yearly allocation that's just carried over year over year. So
Well, basically, that's what this is.
that's what conservation line is.
Right.
And then there's conservation reserve fund. So how long's the beautification been? I'm not picking.
Only a year.
No, that's a reserve fund,
Oh,
but in essence, every dollar that you own spent since the beginning should have just been automatically carried over.
Yeah.
The same principles there without a reserve fund. You just get a slush fund that the town keeps track of. Am I misunderstanding how this money's being carried? This is just previous year's money that's. If the library comes to us and asks for all unallocated funds to be carried over. Let's do. Then no, it's just automatically being carried over. We should do that for the historical
so I thought
society.
that's the point of the reserve fund, well, that's like one of the
It could be.
points. That's like why we did it with beautification. Part of the reason.
Or,
The conservation reserve fund carryover in this fund that's reserved was approved
the reserve
a
fund,
while
yeah.
back, but then it's just,
Why doesn't the cash on hand go with the reserve fund?
That's kind of my question. Why wouldn't the cash on hand just go into the reserve fund?
Like a year.
What?
Earmark.
By the select
Are they
board,
together?
by the select board.
Well, for a project that might be ongoing.
I don't care that it's in there, it just seems,
It does seem different.
it seems like it's not an even deal application. All committees, that's all I'm saying. Don't care, let's move on. There's two lines, Peter. Conservation Commission has
I got my answer.
has $10,000, and maybe we don't need consulting services for the survey, we could use $10,000 cash on hand.
What's the bottom line?
conservation reserve fund isn't just plain cash on hand. It's It's donations and money that, we earned, but, you know, recently we sold some prints, that kind of thing. That money gets spent when there's a project, you know, if the select board or any group came up with something that they wanted some environmental money for, they'd write a proposal, the select board would approve it if it was gonna be spent.
So is that like a bee garden?
But the money doesn't go back into the general fund if it's not spent, because it's earmarked for special projects. And we have the information of how you use it. We haven't had enough money. It's basically there. Somebody needs money in their will, for instance. There's a place for it to go, to stay in Johnson, for Johnson's Conservation and Environmental Mission.
I agree. My confusion is with the other one. We should move on. I can just be confused.
I guess the other question is, if we didn't leave it in the reserve fund, would it go back to the general fund? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think the other discussion is not about the reserve fund at all, it's about the other one, the cash on hand.
There's two lines. of
Every
cash
other
on
committee,
hand.
if they don't spend $1,000 by the end of the year, that $1,000 goes back to the town.
Or
That's not the case with it.
Right.
So that's, I think.
Roll.
What do you mean?
It rolls over in our budget because we're working on various projects.
So the other committee, and theirs doesn't. Everybody goes back to the town. If you don't spend it, you spend it or you lose it.
Maybe is it because you're a commission, like it's the state,
there's the statute.
the state statute? Yeah.
Can I just say I'm confused and then we just move on?
We can come back to it.
It's cash that is there.
As soon as you say $10,000.
Peter, stop asking questions.
Okay,
That. No.
sorry about that one.
I like 453.
Oh.
Emergency fund.
Emergency fund.
That's
Yeah.
when you get depressed.
That's the emergency management. We have to talk about the orange section. What we do with the $179,000. Well, we'll do that before we're done with the budget. Think about it.
What's the question, I'm sorry?
So technically, we have 359,000 and change on line 19 or 519. Right?
529.
528.
529.
Yeah, 528.
529, okay, it's the same number in previous spots.
Okay.
In
That's
cash,
our cash on hand.
that's cash assets. Right?
180 is going to offset taxes, and we got
300
179 left.
316 of that is going to taxes, which we generally get at payrolls, right?
Yeah, sorry.
So 359 in cash on hand, 316 of that is in delinquent taxes. Actual physical cash on hand, it's cash asset. That's right above.
Yeah.
That's on line 509.
Got it.
One, just like,
509. 509 is a combination of 507, 509 makes 510, which is that same number that's mentioned 4 times. So we need to figure out what the board would like to do with $179,000. What's the plan to do it? Okay,
What to do?
I'm sorry, I'm being dense. Where's this 179 coming from?
that 179 is quite literally the cash assets on hand, the 359 minus 180 that we're proposing to reduce taxes. So in
So
essence,
179 is money we got for the,
I mean, 316 of it now. We didn't have at June 30th of 2025, I don't know. We'll get it, but,
Someday.
huh? Someday.
well, we've done
Is
about
that,
spending.
down quite a bit
Is it down quite a bit? That's good.
Something
Yeah, the ordinance.
when,
So that
We would
100,
have been paying them.
the $179,000 is in line 528.
Mhm,
It's just labeled as reserved for other purposes.
mhm.
That's $179,000 that we could use to bolster reserve funds or pay for special projects or do whatever or we believe would be best for Johnson, and part of approving the budget, the taxpayers approve our proposed reservation and cash on it. I gotta say, if we did nothing, it would probably just roll forward, right, Rosemary? And then next year's board will have to deal with it. But it is the taxpayers' money in assets.
The asset is taxes due,
Yeah,
so it's not real money.
so like real taxes.
Hmm.
Delinquent taxes.
Mhm.
We usually get
Last
them.
year, so we're saying we had $360,000.
I never should have mentioned that.
But in reality, 316,000 of that is like a taxes.
At a snapshot in time.
Well, that's true, but
one day of the year.
That one day, at
that's
that
the
one
only day we have to work.
the only thing we have to work.
For delinquent taxes, do we send out mail regularly?
Every month.
Every month, okay.
I don't consider it money unless it's in the bank. It's money that's owed to us, but we don't know.
Taking in 180,000 of it that we don't have.
That's right.
To reduce taxes.
That we didn't have on June 30th of 2025, we might have it now. Has this ever really?
This is a shell game.
Has this ever really been an issue? I mean, we've used delinquent taxes to set our cash on hand since I've been on board. I've never fallen short.
I don't know, it's gotta be.
People just paid their taxes.
There you go. What a zinger. Pay your taxes on time, everybody.
So what's our option is, you already said,
So 179, that's it, stay with cash on hand.
If it did sit, I think the board needs to think about what they want to do with it.
I don't know what the options are.
Well, we could bolster reserve funds or do special projects, so I'm gonna throw some things out there right
Okay,
now. The tax anticipation reserve fund can, by statute, be 10% of our overall budget. So you'll see above in the blue, which is on line, where is that, Rosemary? Line 461, a snapshot in time, our tax anticipation reserve fund is $320,000. Our overall budget right now is 3.6 million and change. So we could put $40,000 cash on hand into the tax anticipation reserve fund.
Where is that fund exactly?
That is, so our tax bills go out July 1, we don't receive any money for the first quarter, but we have to pay payroll, insurance, quarter of the sheriff's budget. Some people pay the taxes in upfront. It's not like you have to have a full 25% of the year to make it through, but it's for that purposes. It's to make it where we don't have to go borrow money in anticipation of receiving taxes. Then we have to charge taxpayers interest. Hopefully saves.
Put that 40,000 where you mentioned it.
I have 10% towards overall budget. What else? I thought you
So-
were listing,
So that was one that
yes.
I believe
Said
the
reserve
board
fund.
should cons-
Say it's cash on hand, we go into tax. Anticipate reserve fund.
it could go into any reserve fund.
Oh.
It could go to any special project. So we could sit here and say, so I gave you an example of reserve fund.
Yeah.
We have several, they all have a purpose, the board should consider what to do with them. I'm not saying I have to spend all of it. We could do a special project. In that way, we would sit here and say, we really want to spend $50,000 of this to redo the turf on the rec fields. I don't know. We could say we want to spend $75,000 on the industrial park. Put granite curbs in, it's just a special project.
So to go back to line 461, the tax anticipation fund currently has $320,000.
Yeah,
Well, speak by.
well, those costs are shown.
Yeah.
First quarter,
Right?
yeah, first quarter payments are 507,000. It's in purple below. Actually, yeah. So 538 is the total. Not enough, but it will pay the taxes early. You're only allowed by statute to have that tax anticipation reserve fund. Unless Rosemary tells me otherwise, then I'll.
That's what I remember.
So that's a reserve fund to think about. The grant match reserve fund is one to think about. We could plug in a little bit for industrial park expenses. We could just leave the rest for the next year's board to deal with. I think the reappraisal reserve fund will be healthy enough by the time we get there. We did that math last year. Yes, John?
Oh, I just,
Oh.
hadn't it?
You said a couple minutes ago, it's something to think of. Why don't we just get it over with tonight and put this budget to bed?
If that's what the board wants to do, I mean, these are long-range things that affect multiple future boards. I can tell you my opinion, but
What's your opinion?
we should write it all on a check and match.
So where are
If the
we,
voters approve it.
where,
No, your name
where
is Hatch, Hatch.
are we, on our budget right now? I mean, could you reduce it a little further?
We're at exactly 3.7% increase to the tax rate, but we do need to adjust that large grand list by reduction of 5,007, right? So what's that number minus 5007? This is really confusing because of another property codes. Which should be 9854, but it's gonna change. So assuming the buyout properties are making the grand list, we'd be at 3.913%. The tax rate would be 98.74 cents. We could do a little bit more to reduce taxes. Just don't want to shortchange the future board,
Right.
put on enough cash on hand, understanding that the pilot payments can drop currently. But that's a good, I mean, if, can we just play with that number a little bit fictitiously? We increase it to 185,000, we'd be down to 3.69%.
What did you think for last year?
Last year, we did 180,000 in cash on interest taxes.
And what was the percent, what was the tax increase?
Last year's tax rate
Yeah,
was 95.02.
no, the percent,
What was last year's percent
Yeah.
increase?
okay.
Do you remember that, Rosemary?
It's okay.
This is really a good budget, because we're just about cost of living. That's not good. Better than gloom and doom for that the other day.
Working.
Yeah. Working out.
Last year's tax increase was 4.11%.
Oh. Thanks.
I'd be in favor of keeping the vacation. Maybe putting maybe for reserve funds, anticipation reserve fund. I think she did a good job of looking at it. We need to have that money.
We need to want to offset that.
That would be the answer to that money.
We'll have a meeting next week that will probably need to stamp this and send it to Susan.
We have a regular schedule meeting.
Send it to her ahead of time for review. If she has anything.
Yeah,
Okay,
But I do know that all the 6-month numbers will change.
are we gonna print those this year? I guess we have to, but do we have to print the estimated finals? Because those were always heavily used to estimate excess cash current year to be used in cash on hand. With taxes next year. Last year, we used almost $70,000. What we're expecting to have in surplus in the current year of city.
But there were several years ago, people wanted to know how much we had spent in the street budget already. That's why that line was added.
Year to date's fine, but do we need estimated finals?
Oh, I see, no,
Because we're not estimating if we'll have a nickel left over this year. But we are, then it's just going to not. We do that. Cool. One thing that we do have to talk about is articles. There's not really any this year, is there, other than the regulars? There's no submissions for reserve funds or?
I don't know.
I got a warning that
Yeah, I got it.
Rosemary passed out for the board to look at.
A draft.
That's that. I think she highlighted proposed change articles in yellow.
Challenge the
Two-
board. Do
Two
we
pages.
have to go
Two
before the
pages.
voters to remove the expense for the town report? Email that to
Yes.
everybody?
Yes,
I think we should.
that's in there.
Is
I
it?
made an article for it.
Really?
Yes. It's on page 2.
Okay. All right. You don't want to be a delinquent tax collector?
But give 8%,
Yeah.
and you got to increase the budget.
What are the questions? I guess the question marks need to be filled in.
But I can't do it. So we're completely done with the budget.
please, the town delinquent tax collector, that was, like required by the state or something? Or is that something we've always had?
We've always had it. It's
Okay.
all always waiting for the position.
Oh, okay, got it. That can't be added to our, highway employee, though? It has to be an elected position.
always go to appointed, if they approve Article 7.
Oh, okay, sorry.
It's weighted out, so they're contradictory. So,
I guess we have to still try to elect one, but at the same time, we're
That's
asking.
why I've got it highlighted, I wanna call somebody.
Isn't that just like the treasurer, where it's 30 days after the election?
Yeah, this, it doesn't say that in this handout from VLCT.
It doesn't, no.
we're gonna have to look into something.
Let's add an article. Just to get people to show up, we should throw something in there that says show up.
Something juicy.
Oh, I'll take these. There you go, throw it in.
Yeah, I think we'll be done before lunch this year.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
The town report, is that gonna last for an hour? Discussion?
Should the town open up ATVs to all roads?
There you go.
That would bring a lot of people in.
I'll probably talk. How long did I not talk?
Too long.
Probably. It'll probably
Just
last-
right, just
it'll probably
right.
last for an hour.
The Historical Society will have their pies.
Yes.
Who makes the best pie?
Depends on which kind of pie you want.
Hmm.
Good point. Correct answer is my wife.
I like pecan pie. She's not on our list, shall we put her on?
No,
Sign her up.
I eat the pies that she makes. That's the agreement we have.
Maybe she could take two at a time.
We done?
Right. Are we done with the budget? That is, I believe, homework for the board. If there's anything in the past year or whatever, that we have a special project or a special need for an expense, we could allocate cash. I mean, we could leave more for the future board to deal with. You have a question about verbiage?
Where's the money? Basically saying, should we report and this person in portion of my office compared to law?
That's not cheap. How did you read my mind that I was gonna say something like that?
We talked about it earlier.
We did, but. Give me a clue. Board can either put it in or not.
And when I brought it up before, the board was dead set against it. But times have changed.
What's the cost?
$4,800.
So, but. Some. And then the warning needs to go on the paper so many days before. Cost of the postage.
I kind of think that, when we get the town report, it's not very clear that, oh, I'm going to town meeting. Like, if you're like disconnected from like this, everything, you know, it's not the clearest, and I think the postcards could actually be better at showing that the town meeting's happening. I think design it differently.
We're one of the larger towns in Lowell County that still sends reports.
Yeah,
Morristown doesn't, Redcart doesn't, Cambridge doesn't.
right. I think postcards.
Good way.
We go on CDs, go with.
And printing of the town report, so. Save on printing of the town report. You know, you go to the post office, a lot of the trash,
That's the expense we were just talking about.
Yeah. I know,
It is sad how much you see in the trash,
yeah,
the post office, that day.
yeah, it's a ton.
It's a print, what, 100? Okay.
Lois doesn't need one, right? We don't need a town report.
I need to.
Yes, John.
We talked about next Monday being Martin Luther King Day.
I was getting on to the next two items.
Oh,
So the first one that I had added at the beginning, VLCT sent me the amended contract for adding $50,000 to retain Weston and Sampson for the Holmes Meadow testing thingy. We already approved it, it's grant eligible. I don't know if I need a motion to sign it, so it's the
It
designated
says
signer.
$50,000.
Yeah, we talked.
Yeah, I know, that's ridiculous.
Does the board have any aims to we sign that? Send me it, it won't cost us anything. Okay,
Already approved it.
we approved the expense, but, and I was the authorized signer.
Yeah.
Still are.
Why are you asking again?
I don't know, it just felt like you guys
Okay.
should know, y'all should know what's going on.
Okay,
All right, next select board meeting. We're not gonna do it Monday, Monday's town holiday. Can we do it Wednesday? Today? That is the 21st.
I
We
can't
need
do
to-
14
Wednesday.
plus 7, you did that.
And we need to send this to the printer when?
26.
The 21st is the board meeting for the library. The library
The library
has a
has
meeting on the
their own,
21st.
has their own.
Right, on the 21st.
That's,
So we
that's,
only have ours on Tuesday the 20th.
well, isn't Wednesday the 20th, and I think Thursday is the 21st. Yeah. Oh, Wednesday the 21st. Okay,
Yeah.
So
okay.
we have it Tuesday then. Because I want to go to that library.
Well,
What the library? comes here.
yeah,
No, the library's got
they're
their
not,
meeting.
they're not gonna have that.
They got their meeting with the state on the 20th, and then their meeting, the regular meeting on the 21st.
I think getting the posting out there because we're moving the regular meeting. Easier if the meeting is on Wednesday or Thursday and Tuesday, but we could figure it out.
Thursday then.
The whole board wants Tuesday.
I communications, they have a meeting that night, so for everyone else.
Well, Peter, you'll be at the library meeting, won't you?
I'm not on the board.
Which are liaison. Is that an official position, or is that just a computer position?
It's an honorary. No, good point.
I can do Wednesday or Thursday.
We should go. with a lot of people.
And we'll have to set another meeting for the 25th to sign the warning. You
On
wanna-
Sunday,
You wanna sign the warning?
prefer Thursday.
Hey. We might need to make some last minute adjustments to this budget and that meeting, but we can make it and fill in. Or,
Or you can sign the back page, that's on the first page. I read it right.
and
Could you say that on the record?
are we meeting Thursday?
Yeah, can we do this?
Thursday, the 22nd.
Okay,
What time?
good with that, John.
Yeah.
6:30, regular select board meeting.
Which Thursday is that? It's not next
Eight
Thursday.
days from today.
Okay, it's not tomorrow.
I guess that's, yes, John?
Heard something today. One of the buildings on the tear down list was on the historic building registry. It was owned by somebody, I guess, that had to do with the Revolutionary War. He was a painter,
Civil War thing.
Civil War painter.
Julian Scott.
Yeah.
You know, did they tell you the trust?
Yeah, it's the last one on the right hand side.
Okay.
Are we,
That's part of the buyout, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
are we not allowed to tear that down?
Interesting.
It's a crime that that building's torn down.
Probably. What's the question?
Well, I just, somebody kind of mentioned it. I wasn't sure if the board was aware of the historical significance of the building and, are there any other options? Or do we just go forward with the tear down? I just kind of thought I'd present that information to the board, that was something I heard.
could you look into, could, I don't know if this has happened before. Could we call, where is it registered again?
Historic registry.
Could you call them and see if this has happened before and?
Yeah.
You drive by the sign every day.
The question is, what are the rules when
Yeah.
a building's been placed on the historic register?
Right. Thank you.
It has to be on the registry. Has to be. It's got that. It's fine.
Good stuff. Does anybody know what the address of that building is?
4 North Main West.
I believe.
379.
79.
No, it's not 79.
It's good, that has to be an even number on that
Has
side
to
of the
be an
road.
even number. So, not on this list.
Is it under town ownership? Currently?
Gene Draper owns it.
Yeah, the Draper's on that.
But are they on the green? Or the purple? That list is only ones that the town owns currently or will own before April 1st.
Closing is supposed to be.
Yeah, are you talking about the 384? Yeah, that's waiting on closing date.
I heard today it's supposed to be, which is.
Let's know BM's gonna take care of that headache before we.
I think that'd be one that criteria they need to look at.
Any other good news?
That's it.
Public's curious. We're out of. What did you write it down like? Resolve. Nobody watching. We're currently looking at
Okay.
3.913%
Go ask.
tax increase. At that rate, the proposed tax rate would be 0.9874.
You only live to be 55 years old.
Nothing else, meeting adjourned at 9:40.